So we have another case of a spicy kitty. I did an hour reading today for a cat owner who has 3 cats, and she was coming to me because the cats keep fighting. And she wanted to know what the hell is going on. They used to get along. Why are they all of a sudden beefing? And when I put the photos up here, y'all gonna know exactly who the fucking culprit is. So the first cat that I'm gonna talk about is Lely, because when I say she had me cracking the fuck up, but at the same time was checking the fuck out of me, I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna need boundaries with these fucking animals. So when I tap into her energy, she was not mean about me being in her energy. She actually wanted to talk and be heard. I asked her, what's going on with your sister Maddie? And the first thing she said is she takes up too much space. And she feels like Maddie is in competition with her for affection from her mom. What I believe is it's the other way around, but that's neither here nor there. So then I asked her, is there something mom can do that could make you happier? And she said, rehouse Maddie. And so I'm like, rehouse her is crazy. I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings, but that's insane. And she said, well, then don't. She said things were better before she got here. And she was like, I was okay with it at first, but now she's just selfish and she takes up too much of mom's attention with her neediness. And so I'm like, well, if it's about attention, why don't you just go get attention from your mom? And she said, no, because I'm not a baby. She's loud all the time and somebody needed to put her in her place. And Stormy wasn't gonna do it because she's too passive. And then she continues on to say that she feels like there's no more room for her. But she also says she feels like she doesn't need constant validation like the other cats, which is not true, by the way. Found out cats can lie today. Or they could be lying to themselves. But she wants her time when she wants her time. So what was interesting about this is that Lely actually was in a shelter before she was picked up by her mom. And this owner actually gave her a safe home. And so she's very territorial over her, and she almost views her like a resource. And she talked about how her and mom were kind of guarded in the same way because they both had been through some shit. But she wants mom to herself. So this was interesting to me because I know that pets go through trauma, but I didn't realize that that trauma still affects them in the way that it affects humans as well, to where it changes the way that you show up, it changes your identity. She literally fights everybody in the house like she's on baddies. And it's because she has an abandonment wound. And she feels like that they're getting in the way between her and her mom's relationship. And she's afraid that she's gonna be forgotten. Those are her words. So I told her, like, is it okay if I tell mom that you feel this way? You know, maybe if I tell mom, maybe she'll give you a little bit more affection. And she says she doesn't think it'll help. So then I'm like, okay, let me go talk to Maddie. Mom's main question for Maddie was, why is she always meowing? Is it because she wants to be pet? And Maddie says she's not meowing, she's singing, and that soothes her. And I'm like, singing? What the hell are we talking about here? Then she says, I don't mind taking up space. And then she says that's a her problem, talking about Lely. She said, I'm gonna sing because I like to. And when I want attention, I'll go get it. I'm here to teach them all how to take up space. Is my duty. And so she really feels like her mission in life is to teach them how to be more bold, how to be more themselves, how to be more alive. Then she goes on to say, everybody is always playing small, living in a cage. I don't want that for myself. I deserve to be heard and I deserve to be full and whole. And then she asks me, what's wrong with that? And I say, nothing's wrong with that. And then she says, Lely makes me feel like something is wrong with me. Then she says that she doesn't know how to receive love, but she can't punish me for that. And then she says she's jealous and she called her a street cat. Why would you call her a street cat? I told mom this and mom was like, wait a second, I'm offended because I come from the streets too. I was dying fucking laughing. And then she told me that she's like Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. And when I tell this to mom was like, oh my God, that's my favorite character. I've loved her my whole life. So she knows who Bubbles is. And so she made me think of that scene where Bubbles was just nice and everybody was calling Bubbles too nice and too passive and too whatever. And then Bubbles started crashing the fuck out on that one episode. Yeah, she was the same way. She wouldn't fight back. And she let Lely kind of beat her up for a long time. And she finally decided to take matters into her own hand. And she had Lely running scared for a second. Baby, the girls are fighting. So the last cat that I talked to name was Stormy. And she was very chill. She was very wise, though. I will say that she had a level of maturity to her that I feel like the other two cats don't really have. So she said she just tries to stay out of the way. Now, what's interesting about Stormy is she's talking from a place of clarity. And so she said that at first she tried to keep everyone together, but she's realizing it's not her job. She told me that she likes sleeping with her mom, but Lely gets really mad at her. And then she said Lely is a bully. She says she is protecting mom, but really she's trying to keep us from her because she feels left out. And then she said Lely needs to chill. It's enough space for all of us. She doesn't have to be mean to get mom's attention. And so she made me feel like Lely feels like the only time mom considers her or gives her attention is when she's being mean. And then she goes on to say she just has to ask for it. She is independent. She doesn't have to give that up by wanting to be loved too. She can have both. That was motherfucking tea. But then she talked about how she feels like she tries not to be a problem for mom because her mom is always worrying. And that resonates heavy with me because I felt like invisible sometimes in my household because I felt like we was always struggling. We always needed help. My brother was a motherfucking menace. And so I didn't feel like it was enough space for me. And so I tried not to be a problem. I tried not to be a burden. I tried not to need anything. This cat is experiencing that same thing. So we more connected than we believe ourselves to be. But she doesn't actually feel invisible. She said, Mom is really nice to me. I'm her baby. She always makes sure I'm okay. And I like that. I feel really considered. And so what is going on with her? She has some health problems and something was going on with her kidneys. And so mom would leave the water running so that she always has access to water. And I thought that was actually really sweet of her to say. And then they all gave mom some really good advice, but they kept playing the song Keep Your Head Up by Shaka Khan off that Tyler Perry movie. They kept playing that in my head, and I read the lyrics to mom and she was like, oh, I'm going through a situation like that right now. So yeah, that was a fun one. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And I have been getting a lot of messages from people who are wanting to learn animal communication. That's not actually something I teach. I'm an embodiment coach. And so I have a soul school that helps you to embody your light. And this is where we get in a better connection with our body. We get in a better connection with earth. And then we develop our psychic gifts as a whole in year 2. And then year 3 is about me mentoring you as you live your life in this new truth that you gain from the program. However, I did talk to another pet psychic. Her name is Cambria. I actually really love her content and she makes me feel seen. And them animals be eating her ass up too. So I feel like we have that in common. But I reached out to her today because I was getting a lot of people who were hitting me up in emergency situations. And I was just going to send people over to her if she had availability. But fortunately for her, she's booked out like I am. But she did tell me that she has a pet psychic school. And I got a ton of comments about that. So the website is petpsychicacademy.com. I'm going to put it on the screen for y'all. And I also got a lot of messages from people who are in emergency situations where they had lost their cat. And one of the teachers at this academy, I think her name is Zania. I'm going to drop her handle up here as well. If you need a more immediate appointment, go to her. I think her social media is Zania, Zinnia, talks to animals. Either way, happy healing, friends.